Grand Rising, everybody. How you doing? How you doing? It's Monday morning. You with Coach Renz, and welcome to Why I Left Religion with Coach Renz. Today we are going to be talking about from multiple different perspectives the difference between polygamy. I forgot to turn the microphone on for YouTube, Facebook, so let me start that over. So Grand Rising, it's Coach Renz coming with Why I Left Religion with Coach Renz, and today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons, benefits of monogamy, polygamy, polyamory, swinging, open, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be talking about which one is best, which one is not, and if we get into the religious aspect of it, we'll get into that as well. As y'all know with this channel, what we do most of the time, we break down religion. We deconstruct from religion. And in deconstructing from religion, some of our old ideas, our thought processes, well, they may have to change. Or did they change because of religion? Religion is always a part of it, but what is natural? What should man be? What should we be doing, men and women? When I say man, anytime I say what should man be, I mean both men and women. Okay, let's not be sexist here. But I definitely want to hear you guys' input today. Please like and share this video. We got to get the numbers up. We got to get the viewership up. So like and share the video. Let's get it out there to as many people as we possibly can want to see the channel grow, especially on YouTube and Facebook. So, hey, YouTube and Facebook people who are already there, that's why I need y'all to be sharing. I need y'all to share this video. Like and subscribe if you find me for the first time. I own Smoking Phoenix Cigar Lounge. So, as always, I got to light one up before we get started. Facebook, let me know if the sound goes away, because then I have to switch microphones. So let's define them first. We got the sexual and intimate and communal relationships of monogamy, polygamy, polyamory, swinging, and open. We're not really going to talk about open too much, but let's break them all down just a little bit before we get started in comparisons and opinions and thoughts. Originally, I was just going to make this into a long form video, but it was suggested to me that I do this one as a live today. So to the suggestion, that's why we're getting this as a live instead of a long form video. All these types of relationship, right? Or they all have their differences. They all have their benefits. Monogamy, of course, most people know is one man, one woman. That's it. Or just two people. In today's world, we got to say two people. Just two people, in a relationship. And one of the things that got me thinking about this subject matter again, because I've had similar discussions before. One of the things that got me thinking about this was the fact that I was listening to a video yesterday, and it was a satire video. And in the video, it was like, you have divorce lawyers told the truth, were honest. It's called Honest Videos. So it's a little satire video channel. So if divorce lawyers were honest, and they started quoting some stats in there that I found very, very interesting. In those stats, but it's not the stats that made me do this video. In those stats, they talked about the fact that more than 54% of marriages end in divorce. More than 54% of monogamous marriages end in divorce. Of those 54, after those 54, most people usually remarry. The woman, when she remarries, they usually divorce at 34%, around 34, 35%. When the man remarries, he usually divorces at 64%. There's a bunch of reasoning in there. So we're going to cover, so some of that reasoning is, well, let's look at why people first get divorced. People usually get divorced for like a few main reasons. It used to be, they got divorced for sex, money, and politics. Those were the main reason why people used to get divorced. Really, in today's world, the two main heavy hitters is sex and money. That's the main reason. But I'm going to add the third one, which is emotional support. So sex, money, emotional support. Politics is not the reason why people get divorced. People not getting divorced because they're like, oh, I'm a Democrat and I'm a Republican. That's not it. Mm-mm. Sex, money, emotional support. That's why people are getting divorced. So when you look at it from that perspective, sex, money, emotional support, and you look at a monogamous situation, okay, whatever the situation is, first of all, one of the things that the video did talk about, they just mentioned it briefly. He said something to the fact about how people have the unrealistic thought process that here's this one person who's going to take care of all my needs. They're going to make me happy. Everything I need from them, everything I need at my height of sexuality, I'm going to receive. Everything I need at my height of financial comfort, I'm going to receive. Everything I need at my height of emotional support, I'm going to receive. This one person. And the video talked about how unreasonable it is that people believe that one individual can do that and that they're going to achieve it. And then when they go into the next person, they're still looking for that same thing. Now, before anybody types it in there, I know someone is going to say, and yes, you must first find happiness within yourself. But the reason why most people are with someone is because there's a higher level of happiness involved in being in a relationship. This is even why when people say, I'm not going to be in a relationship, they still have certain friends. They still keep certain family members. They're always going to have people around them to a certain extent. It may be 2 or 3 people. Like I was always that guy. It was only one time in my life I rode with 4. My crew was 4 people. The overwhelming majority of my time, my crew was 3 people. 3 people. That was it. I never rode. And 3 people. That's including me. Like as far as my boys are concerned. At one point, it was me, Claude, and David, and then it was me, Coop, and I forgot the other dude's name. Then it was me, Pee Wee, and Carrie, and then it was me, Russell, and Chris. And then for a little bit of time, me, Russell, Chris, and Angel. But for the majority of the time, it's just I roll with 2 people. That's it. So we still going to have, even when somebody says I'm not going to have a romantic relationship with somebody that I'm committed with, they still have people around them because we need people. We need communication. We need to talk to somebody. We need the laughter from somebody. There's always somebody around you. So before anybody starts saying, I'm all good by myself, you're not really by yourself. All right. You got people around you. You may not have a committed partner, but you got people. So let's not get into that bullshit either. All right. But I will say, so they was talking about how the person goes on and they look for the next person, expecting that next person to fulfill their, higher levels of happiness beyond what they can do for themselves. Well, of course, with the rates, that got me to thinking. It got me to thinking again, actually. If you've been with me for a while, then you know I am, go ahead and put it out there, I am in full support of the other style relationships from monogamy. I think that monogamy is the least beneficial of the rest of the relationships. Now, I will say, is it possible that 2 people can come together and hear me clearly? 2 people can come together and whoever has the highest sex drive, sexual desires, wants, needs, theirs is matched. Whoever has the highest financial comfort level, theirs is match. Whoever has the highest emotional support, theirs is match. I want you to think about that. Now there are couples out there where whoever, and this could flip flop, it could flip flop depending upon the category, it could flip flop. But there are some couples where each one is met. Okay, each one is met for both people. There are couples out there like that. So I'm not saying it's impossible to have a monogamous relationship where it's reached to that level. But why is the monogamous one so hard and has such high divorce rate? Okay, so first, 54% of them divorce. Sex, money, whatever, emotional support, they divorce. Oftentimes, they have kids. The kids become the center point of the relationship. They don't know each other anymore by the time them jokers are gone. This is one reason why the 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds are getting divorced at a higher rate than most other people, because the kids are gone and they don't know each other. I don't know, for 20 years, 30 years, it was all about them children. I don't know you, lady. I don't know you, man. So they get divorced, right? Then, or it's finances. Both people trying to work, but people are trying to maintain certain roles in the household, and people get frustrated. There's not enough money, and you get frustrated. You're like, well, I can do bad all by myself, right? So you like, forget it. You call it a day. Or the sex is just not there. It's just not there. You got two people with vastly different sex drives, sexual desires. It just doesn't work. And so the cheating is not what caused the divorce. The cheating is a symptom of the fact that whoever has the highest sexual drive and the most varied sexual preferences is just not satisfied. And so at some point of frustration, they go out and they, find somebody who will satisfy that for them. Would have been better if they just talked to the person and they just agreed to a polyamorous situation or polygamy, whichever one, or swinging. They'd have been better off. But that is usually not acceptable. This cigar is very tight. That is usually not acceptable because of our cultural backgrounds. But they get divorced. And then when the people get divorced and then they remarry, the reason why men who remarried is at around 64% and women are around 35%. This is my personal. I could not find anything to really back. I found something that kind of backed it up, but not a whole lot. But for the most part, when a man comes into a relationship on the second time, third time, fourth time around, he usually marries a woman who already has kids. He then takes on the responsibility of those kids, and as well as he usually will have another family that he will have some kids from the previous relationship. The financial burden and stress that man goes under usually causes problems within the relationship. The respect that he receives from the new kids is usually a problem. The new kids may have a problem with him being in there. The kids are the problem, basically. Basically comes down to the kids are the problem. From the mentality of the children, it creates stress problems, as well as when you got situations where the new wife doesn't want the man to spend as much time with his kids from the old relationship, or is not being fair with the kids, or he is ignoring these kids and spending all the time with his kids. It's always something dealing with the parents' relationship between them and the kids, or the kids and how they are towards the two individual relationship. That's one of the main problems. Then the financial burden, the additional financial burden of taking care of this one and taking care of that one, becomes extreme. And so same situation. Then the sex goes downhill, the dating goes downhill, the emotional support goes downhill, and the whole relationship blow up. But men are more apt to retry again than women are, which is why men percentage is higher. Because most men I know will give it at least 3 tries before they like, hell no. But the problem is, most of the time, whoever they're dating, whoever they're with, that person is going to want to get married at some point as well. So I thought I saw something move over there. But so that is one of the reasons why. Those are some of the things about the monogamous relationship. So the polygamous relationship. There's not a whole lot of data on polygamous relationships out there in a Western culture. I got to specifically say in a Western culture. I found a scale graph that looked at 836 different types of different societies. The overwhelming majority of those societies are one form of polygamy, or one form of polygamy. Now, one form of polygamy exists within their society. They have monogamy as well, but most cultures have polygamy within them. Most societies. And when you look at societies, you go beyond just how many countries there are, but even breakdowns within countries. Because you can have different societies within countries. It's kind of like how you have a Southern society here, Southeastern society, you have a West Coast society, a Midwest society, a Northwest society, and a East Coast, Northern East Coast society. It's the worst one. But you have all those different societies, even within America. So it's broken down like that. Polygamy is when a man marries multiple women, but we're going to put both polygamy and polygyny in there at the same time. That is more rare. There's only like 20 societies that have polygyny. I know one up in Nepal that I know of where they do it, and the land is so scarce, and it keeps them from having too many kids and oversaturating the land. But this is one person, multiple wives, or multiple husbands. This was the most common form of marriage prior to the advent of Europeans. Well, prior to the after the fall of the Roman Empire. It started trending during the late Roman Empire, but after the fall of the Roman Empire, Western culture started moving into more of they moved out of the polygamy situation, and because bloodlines and inheritances became vital to them. So, but prior to that, polygamy was the norm. And there were variations of polygamy where you had slave wives, concubines, all the sort of criminal wives. And I say criminal wives because this is the one where the dude assaults the young girl he has to marry. And then he has to marry her if he's caught, and has the money to pay off his fine, pay him off, to bribe everybody. So you did have that, but this is more of a communal type relationship. Everybody is working together. Western, all right, all you American women get ready to get mad at me. Western women got it straight backwards, ass backwards as to how it works. Western women think that they are supposed to sit their ass at home and this man is supposed to pay for everything. Polygamy has never, ever been about the man paying for everything. It has been about communal growth. If you look at it from any other time frame in history, the woman provided as well as the man. She just didn't go out and do some of the harder labor, but they weaved, they made baskets, they made clothes, they did other things that they took to the market. It wasn't just a bunch of women sitting at home feeling wealthy and doing nothing. The royal Arab family screwed the mindset of what polygamy is. They can afford to do that, for one. But when you go to, I've been to Dubai, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, Jebel Ali, Oman, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, Morocco. I've been to all them countries, a whole bunch of Muslim countries. The overwhelming majority of people who have a polygamous situation the man is not the only breadwinner in that household. Dude would have a store. Well, they got married. Both of them were just doing their thing, and then they would save up, get a store, and the wife and the husband are both working in the store. Then they get a new wife, and the new wife is also working in the store, and they go and open up another store, but everybody's working. Generally, only one of the wives may stay home. Both wives, or if you got 3 wives, 2 of them wives is going out to the marketplace, whether they own a business or they have some job. But it is only the one that stays home is usually the youngest one, which actually has the worst case scenario in my opinion, because that joker got to cook, got to clean, got to take care of all the kids. She got to do all the house stuff, and she's doing the house stuff for 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. But this idea that if you get into a polygamous situation, all the women supposed to be sitting at home, and then the stupidity of all of them supposed to have their own house. You're defeating the financial growth aspect of polygamy if everybody got to have their own house. That's you defeat it. But as far as divorce rates in polygamy is, it's incredibly less. In the countries that allow for divorce, it is significantly less than the monogamous relationships. Those relationships have nowhere near the divorce rate. Now, some of those countries, the Arab one especially, it is damn near impossible to get a divorce. So you have that aspect of different cultures. In America, polygamy is not legal, so there are no divorce rates on it at all because it's not legal. I can't say I know enough polygamous relationship to actually give an opinion. All I can say is every polygamous relationship I do know about, they've been together for a very long time, and none of them have broken up. So, but I know that's unreasonable. I'm sure that there are those that have broken up. So, as far as polygamy is concerned, to understand it correctly, it is a situation where you have multiple adults married to each other or committed to each other, because we do live in America where you can't actually marry, committed to each other. And they are, when you look at it that way, they are all in the same freaking house. They're all in the same house. But think about the financial needs are easier to meet because, especially like I'm 51. If you're 50, if you're my age, there generally are no small children involved. Everybody's grown. That 3 checks coming in the house. That 3 checks. 3. It would be far easier to secure the highest level of financial comfort of whoever has the highest level if there's more opportunity for checks to come in the house, more financial support, more of an ability to build business. It's easier. If there's 4, if there's 5, if there's 6 checks, however many, the more checks, the merrier. So when I do talk to people about this, I do tell some, be mindful of who you bring in. There was a time not too long ago where there was a young lady who wanted to get involved who wanted to do polygamy, and she was talking to me and she wanted to be with me. And I was like, she brought absolutely no finances to the table at all, like nothing. So no, you just look like you want to be taken care of. No, that was not going to work. That might have been different if it was already a situation where already had a polygamous situation and she was coming in and she was going to be the one that takes care of the house while everybody else goes and build the financial, build the finances. That might have been a different situation, which is actually what I told her she should do. That that's what you're looking for. You need to be the one to come in the stability of the house, your job is going to be to take care of the house, because you're not bringing anything financial. Why would one of those people who are already bringing in finances stop and just so both of y'all be at the house? No, now you're bringing on an extra, you're a burden. You're creating more of a burden. So financially, you have to navigate the water, so to speak. Emotional. Ladies, understand this. I need y'all to really understand this. It is the rare man who can 100% emotionally support a woman. I don't know if there's a blockage. I don't know what, but this is why y'all have girlfriends. For most of y'all, this is why most of y'all have girlfriends, because not every woman requires girlfriends that they need. Because as my lady like to say sometimes, she missed that day of woman's school. There are women out there who don't need as much emotional support as the general population, but most men do not understand their own emotions well enough to be able to truly grasp and understand your emotions. This is why most men say, you need to go talk to your girlfriend, talk to your mom, talk to your sister, which is not always a good thing, because their advice is based on whatever jacked up shit they got on in their life. So it's not the greatest thing, but no man is going to be able, very few men out there can support a woman emotionally at the level that most desire, that most need, is because we just don't understand. It's not that we don't care. It's hard for us to grab some of it. So being in a polygamous situation, it allows for you to have, and I talked about this before because I do remember talking about this. Going back to use the same example. It allows you to have somebody who's in the house, who's experiencing the same thing, who saw the situation, who's been seeing what's going on, the truth of what's been going on. That emotional support of that sister wife is far greater than your friend who you see at work and you talk to at work, and they only know one side of the story and they're not inside the house, and then they're basing it on what they see between them and their relationship with their man. Whereas your sister wife, they see the man, they know the man, they have their own relationship with the man, and yet they can see what's going on between you and him, and they can just see what's going on between you. They know the inner workings. Their support is far greater a support than somebody outside the relationship. And all them work husbands, they just trying to get them some. A work wife may not be trying to get some ping from a man, but a work husband is trying to get some of y'all pum. If y'all drop it one time, I don't care how we've been friends for 20 years. It is very rare. I mean, I always got to leave that 1% out there, but it is 99% of them work husbands will go in the empty office, see what happens, and tell him you ready. Y'all been friends. He done told you, done met his family and the grandkids and all that. Shit. Work husband? Mm-mm. Hold on, got a question. Where can I find that mindset at? Because it's not happening where I'm from. So respectfully, cheap. Where are you, Black Lands? And of course, now sexually, this is where it's easier to meet a person's sexual desires. If you're involved in polygamy, in a polygamous relationship. Oh, you're in Louisiana? Well, you're in America, sir. Although polygamy is growing, as a growing concept in America, it's harder to find. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure there's some websites, dating sites or something like that. You're probably going to have, most of the people that I know, they had to do it. They had to be long distance, Like I know some people in St. Louis who are who are polygamists. Um, it's somebody on. I know some people up north. They're polygamists. I know, and I'm saying I know some. Let me rephrase. I know some women on my Facebook pages who are polygamists, but they all live northeast, St. Louis area, Midwest. That's called the Midwest, right? Yeah, the Midwest, West Coast. Like they all over the place, which does make it harder to get to know anybody because the long distance. But I'm pretty sure in your local, I mean, here in Atlanta, you can find polygamists in Atlanta. That's not hard at all. But Louisiana might be a little bit more difficult. Not to stray away from the narrative, the hat is tight. A smooth pistol. I appreciate that, James. No, we don't worry. We making deals so that I can bring these to market. But I appreciate it. I like the hat too. This is one of my favorite hats. Shit, man, forget what I was on. See, it took me off the narrative. Oh yeah, so sexually, in this situation now, of course, it's actually more stressful for the man. It depends on what the situation is. You may, is it everybody straight, the man straight, the women are bi? It depends on the situation. If the women are bi, then sexual fulfillment becomes a lot easier on all parts. If they're not, then it is on the man to make sure that he can fulfill the sexual desires for each woman. Where at the same time, if you're going to go into polygamy and you're the man, you should make sure that between the two of them, three of them, four of them, however many of them, like this is one guy I know here in Atlanta. He got 4 or 5 wives. But you have to make sure that you have within all of that you are getting everything you want. You could possibly need. You got your varieties, of course. This one may do that, may do this, but she don't do that. And that one over there does that, but she don't do this. And, you can get all your desires met, but you got to be able to meet all of theirs as well. I've never seen the situation where there's like 2 dudes and like 3, 4 women. I haven't seen that one. I'm sure that one is out there somewhere. But where there's multiple dudes as well as multiples of women. That's a goddamn village. Yeah, that's kind of like a village. But I think you see that in nature, like in a wolf pack, lion's pride. Many people think that there's only one male lion in a pride lion, but there's not. It's usually 2. And then they have babies, and babies grow up and for a while, and then they get the hell on. But there's usually 2, alpha and a beta. A wolf pack have alpha, betas, and charlies. But in human society, let me know if you guys have ever seen where there's more than one dude and multiple women. I know I've seen where there's a one woman and there's 2 dudes. But in the polygamous situation, you have the greater possibility of financial success, emotional success, and sexual success. It's like a tongue twister there. There's a greater possibility of that in that style relationship than there is in a monogamous relationship. Jealousy now the biggest thing that most women talk about is jealousy between the women. This is where it is incumbent upon the man to ensure that each woman is receiving the amount of quality time that she desires. It is also incumbent upon the man to make sure he notices the changes that are occurring within the relationships when within the women. For instance, most of y'all know my guy Kevin. He's in a polygamous relationship. He had to notice the change of when, oh my God, both their names just fell out my head right there. Lacey and shit, the one that I've known the longest, his name just fell out my head too. But he had to notice the difference. So, and I know why Lacey's name came in my head first, because hers was the change. There's nothing negative, but he had to realize Lacey wasn't a "I like flowers, give me flowers" kind of woman. But the other woman, she was. Why is her name falling out of my damn head like that? I am so, forgive me if y'all watch this, and I don't know why in my brain is starting with a J, but I can't remember. But Kevin and y'all, if y'all watching this, please forgive me for forgetting the name. But I remember him telling me how Lacey originally didn't like flowers. She didn't want to be given flowers. But then she started seeing how flowers made the other wife feel. And after a while, she started wanting to receive flowers. Jamie, thank you. Jamie. Oh my gosh. I knew it started with a J. I'm so sorry, Jamie. Please forgive me. Don't beat me up when I come up to North Carolina in September. Even though y'all don't know I'm coming up there in September. But it's September or October. I don't know. But anyway. So Jamie likes flowers. Lacey didn't like flowers. But then over time, Jamie started seeing and started like appreciating flowers. Kevin had to recognize, oh, now Lacey likes flowers. So he had to start getting her flowers. So the man has to start you have to be attentive to changes in the situation. And of course, the woman would have to be attentive to changes in the situation as well, as because y'all are supposed to be on team. So, it wouldn't even be wrong to say, hey, I think I think Lacey likes flowers too. You might want to test it out. Everybody has to be working for the same goals. If everybody's working for the same goal, has the same vision, has the same why, and can understand that, then it works out better. It's when people become selfish and only concerned with what they can get out of the situation, it starts to fail. And it's going to fail. And you have to, the American mentality doesn't work. The American mentality won't work. Not at all. Mine does not work. Greed, it's all mine, does not work. No. Who gives a damn if he in the bedroom? Let's say y'all got separate bedrooms. He in the bedroom and she over there hollering and everything. Is he fulfilling you too? Are you fulfilled? And why do you care? She loud. Maybe you not loud. So why do you care? He took her on a date. He took you on a date. They went on a vacation. Y'all went on a vacation. And then all of y'all went on vacation. However y'all do it. All the comparison bullshit gets you in trouble. You have to let all of that go. And then what the outside people say. Most people are going to look down on your situation. They ain't doing nothing to help you be happy. So why do you even give shits about what they say? So that's pretty much polygamy in a nutshell. Then there's polyamory. Polyamory is basically you have a primary couple, and that primary couple has a primary girlfriend or primary boyfriend, right? And that one doesn't really have any financial benefits at all because y'all are not coming together. If anything, I think that one takes money out of the house because now you have to, as far as the man, most of the time the man, he's going to have to pay for dates for the other woman to take the other woman out. I remember running into a polyamorous, the first time I ever seen in person a polyamorous situation. I ran into these three It's a man and two women, and they were going to an event, and he was paying for everybody. So polyamory really, financially, is more of a drain. It's the same as cheating. Same as cheating. For all you people who out there cheating, for one of the primary ways, especially if you're a dude, one of the primary ways you can be found out is through your finances. 3 weeks ago, you went to this restaurant. It cost you $25. Yesterday, you went to this restaurant. It cost you $65. You paid for somebody. And most dudes are not going to consistently pay for their boys. The only two dudes that I will consistently pay for is my son, but now he's in Washington State, and my brother. That's it. And my brother probably got 3 dudes that I'm probably, other than his sons, I'm probably the only dude that he'll consistently pay for as well. So that's how y'all get caught. That's one way y'all can get caught. But anyway, polyamory takes more money out of your pocket. So financially, it's not any more of a benefit. It's not a benefit at all, really. Because also, if you got a girlfriend, you're giving her gifts, you behind her, getting them nails done, you doing extra. So it's not any financial benefit. Of course, there's the sexual benefit. Yes, it has a sexual benefit that is greater than a monogamous relationship. And if the 2 women are friends with each other, or the 2 men are friends with each other, then it can have the emotional support benefit. But to me, the financial part, hell no. I'm sorry. So polyamory is just a fun state of being. But if that was the case, I would rather, this is why on Facebook and YouTube, it also has swinging in there. Because when I was thinking about polyamory, I wanted something more to compare that to, and swinging would be the other part that I would compare that to. Because in a swinging relationship, there is no financial support to someone else. You're not paying for nobody else. Whether you swing with the same couples or singles, there's generally no economic connection between any of them. So that swinging is better than poly to me, because you don't have any, than polyamory, because you don't decrease in your finances. And I don't know about y'all, but decreasing the finances is not the most beneficial package. And then they're about equal when it comes to possibility of emotional support, because, and here's why. Now, if you're just never the same people, then of course it's less emotional support. But if you have a core group, then you can develop friendships that have that some emotional support that you can get out of a polyamorous relationship, but without the financial burdens of a polyamorous relationship. So you're still good. But of course, the sexual aspect of it is greater in the swinging than it is in polyamorous, because you have more variety, so that more of your sexual desires can be fulfilled. And as we said in the very beginning, just to reiterate, because it's been a minute, the main reason why couples break up or divorce is because of sex, money, and lack of emotional support. And it's lack of all of them. So I got a question for y'all. Which ones, if there was no judgment, what would you prefer? What would you prefer? No judgment. Because y'all know I ain't judging you. I'm not going to judge you. But no judgment. And most of y'all on here don't know none of the other people on here. Personally, I don't think. At least I don't think so. No judgment. Which one would you prefer? Would you prefer poly? Would you prefer monogamy, polygamy, polyamorous, swinging? And open is kind of open. You just have a boyfriend, girlfriend that you go see without your partner. That just has a sexual benefit. What's your preference? Don't everybody speak at once. Don't everybody speak at once. Or if somebody have a longer opinion of it. If you're on Facebook, I can bring you on live. If you're on, well, no, I can't. If you're on TikTok, yeah, on Facebook, I can't bring you on live. I just have to unplug that. Facebook and TikTok, I can bring you on live. Ashley says open. So the very one that I didn't talk about is the one that you prefer. Open relationships create a financial burden because now the man has to go out and spend money. Polyamorous or polygamy. But an open relationship, you can get the emotional support because you have multiple male partners or female partners. Sexually, of course, you be good to go. But the financial part is still a financial burden. So I'm going to assume when somebody says poly, they're talking about polyamorous. So you rather have a girlfriend, y'all are like, I think y'all are two guys. So you rather have just a girlfriend. Right. Okay. Ashley's saying she really would need to know the woman that she's getting with and that's cool. And you can get your emotional support from the multiple dudes because some may be more, connected in a certain ways than others. Some guys connect differently. But for your guy, he's spending more money outside the house though. Yeah, I'm kind of hardcore about the money part. Money coming in. Joel says swing is the way. All right. Swinging, no financial obligation. You can still you're definitely going to get your sexual part. It hit or miss on the emotional part. But I'm with you. Depends on how you do the swinging. That determines whether the emotional part can be there. Joel, sorry, my bad. I would have to try them all and see which one gives me the most experience that can be the best teacher in most cases. Experience is the best teacher. Okay, so black land specifically, polygamy. All right. For me, polygamy is my primary preference. I will settle at swinging if the polygamy is not there. I will settle at swinging. But polygamy is the best case scenario for me. Right. Man's Black Land said, I want to come up together. I'm with you. That added benefit and the man, do you know what kind of how business I can grow? I can grow business by 3-4 wives. I can grow some business. Sure. Shit, if I couldn't satisfy all of them, hell, we'd just be swinging polygamy. We're gonna get it all done. Anybody else gonna tell us what you like? Which one you prefer? I need to take care of that thing today. Just remind me. Now there's more people on here. Some of y'all scared to commit. Now it's interesting. Nobody actually said monogamy. I'm surprised about that one. I figured it was gonna be a bunch of monogamy. I'm too selfish to share kind of statements. That's usually what I hear from American women. I'm too selfish to share, right? And like last summer, before me and Angelina started dating, last summer when I was just putting myself out there, uh, once once I bring that subject matter up, that's where most of them fell apart. I'm too selfish to share. I don't want to share. And it's fine. It's fine. I didn't look down. I don't look down on anybody who says that. It's perfectly fine. I mean, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. I mean, I know dudes who, there are dudes who couldn't share. They'd be like, hell no. Like, they wouldn't be able to get involved in, like, the only way they could swing is they're not even swingers. They would be polyamorous. But the only way they'd be like, oh, we can have a threesome, but it just got to be another woman. And then the other woman, one dude is like, the other woman can't even touch his woman and all this kind of stuff. And he's like extreme with it. Like, he's so afraid that if anybody other than him touches his woman, she gonna leave him. So he has a bunch of insecurities. So he don't need to do nothing. He really don't need to be in no relationship. Where were you? Never tried poly. Definitely thought about it, but I might be too late in the game for that. Actually, you'd be surprised. You're not, dude. There are so many people. I don't know how old you are, Papa Soul, but it is not just young people. It is actually, shit. It's a lot of 50s and 60s out there. Most women and men share now. They just don't know it and don't want to know. Exactly. Most men don't want to share. And most men don't. Most men don't. I think that's unfair that most men think that way. This is not the time frame back in the day where you were concerned about your bloodline being maintained. That's where that comes. That's where that comes from initially. I know you can look at nature and animals, but nature and animals is not that way. After the male line, after the alpha line gets some, and he done, got with all the women that he gonna get with, the beta comes right behind that. Comes right behind it. Same thing in a wolf pack and everything else. The other males come right behind that. So that's bullshit. When people try to say in nature the man is the alpha is the only one that no. It doesn't work that way. There are animals that it does, but for the most part it doesn't. If there's nothing about creating children, then she should be able to explore just as much as the man should be able to explore. And if your relationship is so fragile that just because he gave her some ping ping that might have made her make a sound that she ain't never made with you, if she leaves you for ping ping, you don't want to be with that woman anyway. I wouldn't want that woman. If another dude with greater skills or just do something different to me, that's all it takes for a woman to leave me, you get the hell on then. If a woman left me because I messed up or I did something, I would be hurt. But if a woman left me because for that reason, it would take me about 5 seconds to emotionally get over her. About 5 seconds. Because she wasn't worthy anyway. If that's all it takes, she ain't worthy. Same thing for a dude. If a dude leaves his woman because this other woman got some good poom poom, that dude wasn't worthy of you. What that is? Yep, most people are sharing without even knowing it. Yep. Yeah, and most of them don't. Maine said that seems like swinging would be my preference. A lot A lot of guys may not like their women getting down in front of them, getting dick down in front of them, and she be doing you a favor. Yeah, she would be doing a favor. A lot of guys wouldn't, but that's where your insecurities have to get out of the way. Like, that's purely insecurity to me. To me, I could be wrong, but I doubt if I am. It's purely insecurity. Seeing your woman, okay, so let's be real, dudes. Because most of these same dudes would sit up there and be fine with letting another woman go down and have oral on their woman, right? Most dudes are fine with that, but not realizing that a woman probably can do that better than a man because they got one. They know all the inner workings way better than we would ever know. I have read books on it. What was it called? It was called The Lowdown on Going Down. That was my favorite book that I read on it. I've studied the tantric books, and I am going to beat my own chest and say I'm damn good at it. But I guarantee that if it was the world championships of cunnilingus, it would not be a man that would win. It would be a woman that would win. So if a dude he'll let a woman go down on his woman. All right, she may be licking that thing in ways that you ain't never conceived of, and all of a sudden got the right movement, the twitches and everything, the speeds, the portions of the tongue, lip, everything working in certain ways, and know where to put the fingers in the inside and outside and rub the lips and all this stuff. She might leave you for that too. A woman can go down there better than you can in most cases. So I wouldn't worry about, I don't care about another dude. No, that ain't gonna bother me. Because if she leave me for that, then bye, get the hell on. It should have been left. Should have never been here. But I'm no. And then if you're getting all mad and angry and all that kind of stuff, then you don't need to be in there. If you have any insecurities, you don't need to be in any relationship at all. You don't need to be in any relationship at all. I learned that the hard way, man, by being with people who were insecure. They are not ready for relationships. Probably a female would do it better to another. Right. That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. 100%. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm a dude. I've just never been that guy that felt insecure about being in that situation. It's like, all right, situation that happened, we experienced it. That person, unless it's a polygamy situation, which there ain't gonna be another dude in that, but it's gonna be in a swinging situation. Okay, in a swinging situation, everybody else is a toy. Everybody's a toy. If the two people don't come into the mindset of knowing that anybody else involved with us is a freaking, they're just this toy. They're like the toy box that you got under your bed. They're a toy. Another dude ain't nothing but a dildo that's attached to a body. She's a toy. Another woman ain't nothing but the rose of the airplane attached to a body. That's it. If you don't think about other people that way in that situation, then you probably shouldn't be doing anything because your mindset's not right. You're going to emotionalize it too much. And then all that emotion causes you to start thinking crazy stuff. Many men have to get over another man's residual, as most of us love going down on women. That's the main issue. Yeah, that is. Look, when you're in that situation, it's all kind of shit going on. Don't even think. I just don't think about it. And there ain't gonna be no obvious like all right there, and then you finna go down. Hell no, hey, bathroom, take a shower or something. I had a dude in here one time, and he was talking about, oh man, she gonna come and kiss you, and she been, giving some other dude head. I was like, he said, and then you got that other dude, penis in your mouth. And I looked at him and I said, you probably done been kissed by a whole bunch of women, and they just got finished giving some dude some head, and ain't brushed their teeth, ain't goggled out, ain't had nothing to drink, and came right up and kissed you. What the hell you talking about? At least I didn't know. Your gut, you probably knew. In your gut, you probably knew. And I told him, I said, you can go home and some dude just left your house 20 minutes ago, and your woman ain't brushed her teeth, nothing, because she don't want to sing, she don't want to give it away. She might drink a little lemonade or something, but she don't want to give it away with a freshly brushed mouth, freshly goggled mouth. And you just walk in, hey, baby. And she just got finished taking her mouth off that dude thing. She just gluck 3,000 on him. Like, you don't know. Like, this. Why be childish? Oh, he didn't like when I was saying it either. In the cigar lounge, you can talk shit. We talk trash all the time. But I was like, what the hell, that bullshit? Because he thinks I'm too liberal-minded. But actually, I think he wants to be more like me, but it's difficult for him to get past all his insecurities. Because he does always say, I applaud you for your liberal-mindedness. Like, most dudes don't think like you. And most dudes don't. And it's because all of this is just a body. This is just a body. What's in here? What's in here? I'm more interested in what's inside the thing, what the thing is holding, than the thing itself. And why should I allow my emotions to rule me? I don't allow my emotions to rule me. I just don't. My emotions will never rule me. They have in the past, but they will never rule me again. So things like that don't bother me. I think that a woman has just as much of a right to explore her sexuality to whatever the height is for her as much as any man does. So how can I would be hypocritical if I say that I can go and explore I want to go and explore all of my sexual varieties and experiences, but you can't. You got to stay right here. Right. It's like the guy who says that I want to have a threesome with me and 2 women, but she can't have one with her and 2 dudes. And if that's her desire. There are some women who are like, hell no, that's too many, there's too much activity going on. But you be a hypocrite. Any man that says that he should be able to do that or she can't, you're a freaking hypocrite. All right. Because a woman is actually built to have greater sexual experiences than a man. Y'all are built for sex. I'm gonna tell you, I'm jealous as hell. Y'all have an orgasm thing be lasting about 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then you can have another one right back there. Then another one. Then a few minutes later, have another one. A few minutes later, have another one. And then y'all be making it look so intense and gratifying and, like you about to have a heart attack. I'm be honest with you. Sometimes I'll be sitting there and, of course, I'm going to keep doing what I need to do because, my focus is always satisfying her. But there are moments that I'll be like, this is some bullshit. this right here is some bullshit. This is unfair as hell. I can get 1, maybe 2. Every blue moon, I can have an internal orgasm through the study of Tantra. And I say every blue moon because I have to focus on it. I have to be in the right moment to be able to do it. I can do it as often as I like, but it just takes a lot. But y'all, I'll be like, this bullshit. We get a big one. We get ours. Shit lasts about 15, 20 seconds. Then it starts dissipating. The only way, and ladies, I need you ladies to understand this. And I think every man would agree. The best orgasm a man can have is with that Gluck 3000. When you finish the job, just keep going, keep going, keep going. That is the only way it extends for about 45 seconds. And it's the most intense. But y'all, women are built for sex. So a woman should be able to explore her sexuality, her sensuality, you know. Margaret said, I couldn't be poly. How did Solomon from the Bible do it dealing with all those women? I prefer finding one woman that would match my energy, interest, and relate to me. Yeah, that'd be great if you can find that one woman that can match you all, matching all of that. And as you grow, y'all change together. That would be, you have to remember that part. You got to grow together. If y'all start growing apart in your experiences, it's gonna mess it up. Solomon. Well, the story of Solomon is, you got to look at it. You can't look at how Solomon would be today. There is absolutely nobody's going to have 700 concubines and 300 wives today. That's not going to happen. Could Jeff Bezos afford it? He could. Is he going to do it? No. There's a guy that lived in the same building. He was from the Gambia. This cigar is so tight. Hold on, y'all. But he was from the Gambia, and his dad was the chief of their village. Dad had he had about, I think he said his dad had 7 wives. Yeah, look at that. It's cracking because it's so tight. So I take my pen. But his dad had about 7 wives. And the thing about it, for the style that they lived in, they had a crawl, and then there were multiple huts in the crawl that represent different things. Like this hut is the kitchen hut. This hut is the different huts had different things. So it wasn't like the crawl was one house, but everybody had their own huts, even the children. So on and so forth. Once the children reach a certain age, you got your own hut. So that's how he grew up. But they had a lot of land, and they were rice farmers, so he had a lot of money, and everybody worked the rice farm. Everybody took care of the animals and all that kind of stuff, which facilitated for him and his brother, well, one of his brothers, because Joker got like 56 brothers and sisters, and for them to come to him, and one of his brothers came to America and did business and built business, and then they transport things back. But anyway, point to that. He was telling me how his father didn't necessarily interact with every woman every day, and that's how, when you got Solomon's situation, he wouldn't have interacted with all those women every day. Everybody would have their turns. You got 1,000 women. You might have sex with all of them one time in a year. Even that's a lot, because what? 306, 1,000 divided by 365. That's at least like, what, 30 some odd women a day? Nah, so now you could go a whole year and not get nothing from Solomon. So that's ridiculous. But if you got 2 wives, depends upon the guy. Hey, one in the morning, one at night. One in the morning, one at night. It depends on how you situate it. You got these 3 days, you got these 4 days. The next week, you're going to get 4 days, and you're going to get 3 days. And you're going to keep alternating like that. however you set it up, you know, but those setups have to be based on the needs. I know of a polygamous couple where the first wife, she's not interested in having sex no more. So he only has sex with the second wife. But she likes to sleep with him. So she still gets her sleeping time. So it's all up to your situation. Now, you can find that person, that one person, that's great. But make sure you grow together, though. Trust me. Take it from my own personal experience. When both of y'all are having an experience, but y'all are growing differently, the relationship eventually is going to end. Yeah, there's really no proof that Solomon existed. No, Solomon didn't exist at all. His story could be based off people of the ancient times who have lots of wives and concubines. Yeah, it was normal for a king to have a bunch of wives and concubines. So if you're going to write a story about your own king, you're going to add that to it. But nah, Solomon never existed. There's zero physical proof of Solomon's existence. But yeah, Solomon having, I mean, if you have multiple wives, you just have to set up the situation that works. Like, I remember talking to one person and she wanted to do polygamy with me, but she wanted the other wife to be damn near her mindset was this other person would be a slave and she would live in the basement. Like what the fuck you talking about? Like, that's not how it works. And I just, like, you got problems. You gotta go. You gotta go because you got problems. So that's not how it works. You don't dehumanize anybody in the situation. But it's about meeting everybody, having the opportunity to meet their higher needs. But Marcus, that there are people out there there are women out there who can match your energy. What'd you say? Energy. What you put on that? You say energy. I almost say your word. Energy, interest, and relate to you. There are ones out there. Right. There are ones out there who can meet you in those aspects. I'm not saying that it's impossible. Just based on the statistics. Because out of the people who remain married for long periods of time, there's a difference between being married and being happy. And I see so many older couples and people of my age and younger, they married, but they're not happy. And to me, why are you there? Like, why are you still married if you're not happy? I know that don't sound right. I know that sounds mean. And I know some people be out there that, like, is this guy who came in that I was talking to the other day, and it's a good thing most people who come to my lounge don't listen to my videos. These type videos. There's a guy who came in here the other day. His dad was married to his mother for forever till she passed away. And then 3 years later, the dad got married again. And this man is having such an issue with the fact that his dad got remarried that he doesn't get to see his dad. He doesn't see his dad. Now, he did say that he will tolerate dealing with the woman if he can get his dad to come down here. But his dad is not coming without that woman. And his dad has told him that the only reason he's still alive is because of that woman. Without her, he have no reason to live. I've only seen one couple, one in my entire life, where them two were old and goddamn, the honeymoon was still going. Well, they were old in my thought process at that time. They was in their like 60s, 50. No, they were like in their late 50s or early 60s. No, they was older than that. Shit, no, they was older than that because they was great grandparents. So they was damn near 70. They were in their 70s and stuff. And I was in my 20s, early 20s. And they're the only couple I've seen that they were genuinely, you can tell they were genuinely happy. I mean, in all their marriage of 50, 60 years, They only spent 3 days apart. He was a farmer, and he go out to the fields every day. He pick up flowers on the way back. Uh, they had a beautiful routine. He had this old truck, but the passenger seat by the other window, it had that bench seat. That seat looked brand damn new because she ain't never sat on that end of that seat. She sits next to him all the time. They told us, they was like, all right, well, we finna go. Well, all right, good night, y'all. And they went in. They had to get it in. They had to go get it in. I was like, ugh. You know, at 20 something, not 20 something, I was like 20, like 1920. At 1920, and the CD is like 70-year-old time. They finna go in there and get it in. It's like, oh. But that's probably the only relationship. Now I've seen another one. There's one other one. Those are like the only two relationships that I know on the inside. I have inside knowledge of that they are truly happy. Most people that I have inside knowledge of, and they've been together for a long time, especially after the kids leave, these motherfuckers are not happy. They're not happy at all. You know, they tolerate each other. They tolerate each other. I don't have. I can't see it. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. I don't want to be tolerated. Like, now I do believe in working on it. So like, if Angelina was like, I'm just tolerating you right now, I'm okay. Shit, what do I need to do? Or what am I doing that causes that? And what do I need to do to, what am I doing that's causing? Once I know what's causing, then the opposite will alleviate it. But then go do it. Like, I know that through everything that I've been through, there's certain parts of myself that I lost that need to be regained. So, I'm working on those things. But if you're not constantly, and I say that because if you're not constantly working on the person you need to be for your mate, then why are you in a relationship? Why are you there? You need to leave. You need to get the hell on somewhere. Let me see. I love what you do, dog. I used to be a Christian, but more Gnostic, and now appreciate your time. I think that says time. No, I appreciate you. Man, don't be calling me Unc. I ain't that old, bro. Nah, it's all right. I just mess with you. Now, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, and I think one of the things, our doctrines keeps us in these states. Like, what does all of this have to do with deconstructing? Well, it is the religion that has determined what marriage is, right? No matter what time frame, era, religion has decided what marriage is. And society has decided what religion is. So they can both walk hand in hand. The culture does supersede the religion. But deconstructing also means being free and allowing other people to be free. So your mind should be non-judgmental about any style of any of these relationships that anybody chooses, because they should have the right to choose whatever relationship that makes them happy. Exactly, Debbie. Why stay in misery? I'm never going to stay in misery, nor should anybody ever stay in misery. I know a lot of people give up on relationships. I will never give up on being in a relationship, because I know I'm not going to be by myself. I love being in a relationship. Let me say, I love being in a relationship. So I'm never going to give up on a relationship. Does it become hard sometimes? Sure. The type of man that I am, sometimes I don't feel like I'm doing. Sometimes I don't feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Sometimes I feel like I'm not succeeding at the level that I know I should be, put it that way. Yeah. So I can get down on myself, but then it's like, get your ass up and get it done. Like, move your feet. I'm not going to get everything that I always overpack my day. I'm not going to get everything done that I need to get done, but sometimes just the restrictions of being in here all day keeps me from getting everything done. So I know I'm always looking to improve myself. I want to get better. I want to be better. And in a relationship, you always, you always should have the mindset of getting better within the relationship. You know, whether it's a monogamous relationship, a polyamorous, polygamy, swinging, what they actually say open, whatever the relationship style is, you should always be seeking to become better at it. Like if you're a dude and you want to get involved in any of these things, well, if you get involved, like we was talking about dudes, how their mindset is about swinging, you got to get rid of those insecurities. That's not going to ever work in that, because it's unfair for a woman to not be satisfied, but your ass gets satisfied. And even in a polygamous situation, if you can't satisfy each one of those women, or now if they're all bi, then it's not all on you to satisfy all of them. But if you can't satisfy all of them, your ass don't need to do it. And you're insecure, you don't need to do it. You need to stay in your lane. My parents have had their ups and downs, but they've been together for almost 40 years. And that's great. Let me ask you a question, Marcus. And you can choose not to answer. I could be prying. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all. Hopefully you don't take it as disrespect. Are they happy? Like, if your parents were honest with you, would they say they are legitimately happy? Like, are they like still trying to spend all that time with each other, growing with each other, or are they in their own little modes, that kind of thing? Have a certain level of happiness, but not like, woo, like the couple that and it's probably was jacked up. That's probably what jacked up my whole mindset, is that here I am, I was married a year and a few months. And then I meet this couple who've been married for 60 years. Not 60 years. They were married for 50 years at that point. They were in their 70s and they were like little kids, man. You couldn't tell them any different than any other newly married couple, you know what I'm saying? And for me, in my mind, I said, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's going to be right there. If it ain't, that's my top. They gave me this idea of marriage that was a freaking rarity. So yeah, they still do things together, but they still get to argument. I think everybody's gonna get into some arguments here and there. It depends. Well, I don't get into arguments. I don't argue. We can have a discussion. If a woman want to argue with me, you probably are on your way out the door. If you're gonna do all the yelling and the fussing, and you about to leave. We not arguing. We'll have a discussion. You're gonna control them emotions. If you can't, you need to go over there, get yourself together. And then when you got yourself together, you can come back and you can talk to me. But we're not gonna argue. I'm not doing that. And where did I learn that from? That damn couple. In all their years, they never had a raise your voice, call each other out their name, degrade the character kind of argument. Even when they did have to say, like, give a passing of judgment, it was like, it's kind of a loving way of doing it. Like, it would be like, I can't remember the exact words, but there's a loving, I can't remember how she said it. But Angelina gave me she said it in a loving way, even though I still have a smart ass comment after she said it, about how certain things I procrastinate on. Right. That's a judgment of character, but it wasn't done in a way that, like, I didn't feel a stab, you know what I'm saying? But this is what I saw from that couple. So I was just like, shit, that's it. I didn't know that the majority of them out here is miserable. They have a level of misery that they're used to. They're not doing what's necessary to grow and make it happier and happier and happier. You know, in my vision, this was my vision as a young man when I first got married. When I first got married to my kid's mom, my vision was we was gonna be like that. This is why I was adamant about our lives can't revolve around the children, because that's what they said. Don't let your lives revolve around them kids. They basically had that mentality of fuck them kids when it comes, because they were the first ones who said to me, you're gonna leave, you left your parents. Your brothers and sisters, they're going to go off and have their own life. Your kids going to grow up and have their own life. Your friends are going to have their own life. Your job is going to continue with whether you're there or not. The only person who says they want to be with you for the rest of their life is that person, your spouse. Whether it's one spouse, two spouses, three spouses, that's the only person. So you might want to think about focusing on that person and this relationship more than anything else. This is why kids have never stopped me from doing anything. I would never allow them little jokers to stop me from doing anything. Friends, no. Jobs, no. I have shut down successfully, well, companies that were doing well. I ain't gonna say successful yet because I was still working there every day. But my sunglass and candle and watch shop, shut that down because it was damaging the relationship. So it had to go, right? I won't put nothing ahead of it. Now, I'm not just going, it took time and planning and things to get those things taken care of. There had to be an option, an alternate option that was going to have a lifestyle that would be supportive of one that we're used to. And I'm not saying, oh, I'm just going to quit and so I can stay at home and be with you. And then we just going to, have some struggle of, nope. But I've been inside this lounge almost every day for 2 years. There's only so long that I would keep this lounge if I got to be in here every day. After a time, it got to go, because it's not beneficial to just me having a life nor me having a relationship life. So I wouldn't put this in ahead of having a relationship. Not even slightly. Yep, got to have a focus on relationships. Because that's what matters. When the job is gone, who's supposed to be there? When the kids are gone, who's supposed to be there? You know, my oldest daughter swept down that I'm gonna be living with her in one wing of her house, and her mama gonna be on the other wing of her house. And she will say, "Daddy, who you and whoever you with, y'all will be on that wing, and Mama, whoever you with, y'all will be on that wing." And I keep telling her, I am not coming to live with you. Live with none of my kids. They might seek some revenge. But no, you gotta have it's after 12. Yes, after 12. I gotta unlock the door. You gotta focus on your relationships, no matter which one you have. You have a monogamous, polygamy, polyamory, swinging. There are concepts of there's a mentality that you have to have in all variations in order to make any of them work. And I do think the hardest one to make work is a monogamous relationship. That is the hardest one to make work, in my opinion, because you're by yourself. You a dude who got to figure out how to have all the emotional support that your woman desires, but you're not equipped. You're just not equipped for it. Most cases, most men aren't. You're not equipped. You gotta, now together y'all can, you can take care of your financial security together. It'd be easier if it was two of you. If it was 3 checks coming in or 4 checks coming in, that'd be a lot easier. But in all the situations, and you can't walk around with insecurity. Insecurity and jealousy would kill any of these type of relationships. Yeah, you got to have great communication, good communication skills, and be a leader. Most men don't know how to be one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I said I've been on this planet this time around for 51 years. Grew up in the suburb of Atlanta, surrounded by black folks, surrounded by some men. Went to the Marine Corps. I've been out here in this corporate world, and I lived in a bunch of different countries. And one thing I can tell you, I would say that 2/3 of the men who claim to be alphas, who claim to be leaders, are not freaking leaders. They're not alphas. They some damn Charlies masquerading as an alpha, or they're just a good beta. Ain't nothing wrong with a beta. Beta shows good leadership, good balance. Ain't nothing wrong with a beta, but there's only, beta is only going to lead so far, so much. A lot of women, a lot of women are walking around happy with a beta. They might think he's alpha, but he ain't. But that's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's when you got them Charlies. Them damn Charlies, that's those, they swear up and down that alpha. They try to act like an alpha. They're egotistical. They're narcissistic. They heavy-handed. They got to puff out their chest. See, a true alpha doesn't have to puff his chest out. You don't, like in every occasion. He only does it when it's absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. Like, for instance, I've been around these guys for 2 years, and they only seen me puff out my chest one time. One time. Of course, they crack jokes on me about it now, but one time. And that's when a dude just, after I tried to explain something to him over 2 days that was very simple, and then he disrespected my lady. That's the only time they have seen me step outside of being a good business person. Because any other time, I command respect for me and my lady without having to puff out my chest. But that respect is commanded just in my fair and nurturing treatment of everybody who walks in the door. Now, of course, this is a cigar lounge, so you got to be a little bit of a smart ass when you come in here. You got to have a little bit of that. But for the most part, I don't have to stand in here and beat my chest and say, yes, this is my spot, in order to have that respect. But most men, no. Motherfuckers are Charlies, and they got to sound loud. But then when it comes down to it, they don't know how to manage. They don't know how to nurture their children. They don't know how to nurture their wife. They don't know how to nurture their community. They don't know how to do any of those things. All they know how to do is try to be in charge, and they make a bunch of dumbass decisions. And their decisions are they're derived from their ego, not from a combination of their mind, heart, and soul. So they don't know what they're doing. And then them deltas, a delta can make some good money because they're very efficient at their job most of the time, but they don't have ambition. They get promoted based on being there and being efficient. Somebody promotes them. They go to college because their parents told them to go. They study this because their parents told them to study it. They're easily swayed, easily directed. And now, if you're one of them bossy ass women, that's a perfect man for you, because you can tell that joker do anything and everything, and he's just gonna do it. He's just gonna do it. I did not. So the weekends is a hard time. I don't do a lot of, because that was Friday. I knew I wasn't going to look it up over the weekend, no, I haven't looked up Simeon Toko, but I will. I will today. I have more time today. Over the weekend, I'm in the lounge, and because of the hours that I work in the lounge almost every day, I give my lady most of my attention during the weekend. So I don't spend time reading, studying. I only do things that I can give her my attention, and I can still do this at the same time. Like, if you notice, I didn't even make any videos, even though she wouldn't mind if I made videos. It wouldn't have bothered her if I made some videos over the weekend. But I didn't, because we were sitting and we was talking and watching movies and, just generally hanging out and being with each other. Because she goes to work at like 7:30 in the morning. She leaves the house. I don't leave the house till like 9:30 most times. And then I don't get home. I don't get off till 10. Sunday through Wednesday, and I don't get off till midnight Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I have to make it. So when she's off, she's over here with me on the weekend, she gets my time. So I'll this week I'll be able to look up your guy. Thank God that air conditioner just turned on because I was starting to feel a little warm in here. Starting to get Georgia hot around here. But appreciate the reminder. It's still on the. It's a tab. It's still an open tab on my laptop. So, did anybody start out with one mindset, but has changed their mindset based on our conversation? Anybody initially came on, had only one mindset, but this conversation had made you say, well, you know what? Maybe, possibly. Maybe, or tweak something. Basically, has this conversation been beneficial to you in any way, form, any way, shape, or form? My cigar cracked. See it crack. My cigar cracked, but I'm still gonna smoke it. I'm curious. Has it changed anybody? Has it been beneficial? Did you make it say, polyamory, polygamy, or swinging, or open? It's a possibility. Or nah, monogamy. It's the only way. What's your name? Matata. Okay, definitely. Cool. Glad. Good. Because it's a part of growth to be able to open yourself to other possibilities. If we was having this conversation, what? Okay, so of course, back when I was into Christianity in my 20s, I had a desire for polygamy, or polygamy and swinging, polygamy or swinging, but I just, it was such frowned upon, and I didn't know how to express it, And then when I was express swinging, it was first frowned upon, but then it was like, okay, maybe we can try it, and then it was okay, but then it just got all messed. Then got back to America, and that mindset was like, hell no. And then you just continue in life, and you continue to stay in that same vein, and when I got divorced in 2008, there wasn't a lot of people out here talking about polygamy, and actually that's when I got introduced to the Atlanta swinging scene. Is when I got divorced in 2008, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that black people did this. When I lived in Florida, it was just a whole bunch of old white people. I didn't know black folks were open-minded like this. So there was a progression of me understanding the different dynamics of different relationships. I was like, oh. And I think it was more around 2010 when you started seeing more polyamorous and polygamy relationships starting to come about in the black community. So it's been this progression for me. Oh, the conversation, we just did a comparison of monogamy versus polygamy versus polyamory versus swinging versus open. And just look at in the beginnings, we looked at the benefits of the pros and cons of each one. But I was born in 71. So of course, when I become of age of marriage in the late 80s, early 90s, polygamy was that thing that only Arabs did. I didn't even know there were people in African countries who were doing polygamy in the late 80s, early 90s. It wasn't until I went and started traveling overseas and then went overseas through the 90s that I realized that, oh shit, hold on. There's another way. Have you ever had to pump out your chest on your children? Not pump out my chest, no. Not in a way that did I have to discipline them? Yes. Did I correct them? Yes. Now that they're my oldest daughter, when she was how old that little girl when that happened? She was about 12 when she thought she was gonna be disrespectful to her mother. And I stripped her down to just a little bra and panty and threw her outside on the back porch, and it was cold outside. And to let her know that you don't own shit, and you will never disrespect your mother like that. Yeah, she got some of that. As adult children, me and my son, we box, but it's not pumping on his chest, it's teaching him how to defend himself. After he beat me the first time in basketball, he's never played me in basketball again. So I tried to goad him into it. But no, I can't think of a situation where I've had to do that with my kids. And even with my children, I've never yelled at my kids. I've never yelled at them. I talked to them sternly, but never yelled at them. What was your opinion on homosexuality? That's something that's being pushed by an agenda, but swinging is frowned upon. True, that is an interesting comparison. It is being pushed as a normal thing, but swinging is looked upon as something negative. Oh, we got polyandry is fine. If a woman wants to have two men, that's fine. Go with it. Here's my thing about homosexuality. Do I think that homosexuality is a natural occurring thing? I do not. I think people decide that they're going to be homosexual. They decide what they're interested in. Just like I have preferences for women. I have a preference for women that, and it's weird. My preference for women that I would allow into a swinging situation is very wide, right? It's wide. It's a wide range from physical looks and attitudes and all that. It's a very wide range. But the more we move to polyamory or polygamy or monogamy, this shit gets smaller and smaller because I'm putting more of me into the relationship. So it's got to be more and more into my preference. I think that homosexuality is a choice. I don't think that you're born with it. There's been zero scientific proof, biological proof that anybody's born that way. Nobody knows what's happening to them from age 0 to 4 at the earliest, maybe 5 for most people. So you don't know what psychological things you are watching, seeing, imprinted in you, that sort of thing. And some people gravitate towards different behaviors. Like I literally remember growing up seeing 2 twins. These twin boys were born. The mother was dressing one as a little girl the whole time. I didn't realize he was a boy until we was all in the 1st grade, that he was actually a boy because the school made her stop dressing him like that. Was I surprised he wound up being gay? No. The mother made sure that she treated him like a girl the whole time. I've seen boys grow up in houses and families filled with women dogging the shit out of men. I've seen them become effeminate. Some dudes have feminine behavior, but they love women. So your behavior is not necessarily a trait of homosexuality, So I don't think it's natural. I think it's a choice. Until you show me some DNA proof, some biological proof, your brain didn't get washed over with testosterone, something. No, I'm not. So it's a choice. Do I think we have a right to that choice? I think you do have a right to that choice. Do you have a right to live with and bang whoever you mutually agree to live with and bang? Yes, you do. You have a choice. Should that be something that you discourage people from serving you, from allowing you to work at a job? I think you're fine. You shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't say, okay, you can't work for me because you like men or you like women. You can't. You know, you can't be my doctor. You can't operate on. You can't. You the best brain surgeon in the world. But I'm not gonna allow you to operate on me because you gay. Hell no, that's stupid. But nah, we. I don't care who they mess with. I just don't like that one. I don't like in any of these groups piggyback on like civil rights. Civil rights was meant for black people. Why in the hell are you get your own shit? Don't piggyback on shit, and we still ain't getting benefit from it. You know, whether it's the Asians or the alphabet groups. Hell no. Get your own shit. Stop piggybacking. Stop pushing. Don't try to force your agenda though. Don't try to force me to say I have to agree with you that it's biological. I can have my opinion that is, and my opinions are usually backed by some levels of facts. I'm well within my right to not accept that it's genetic. But that doesn't mean I treat you different. You should, and then you get mad, and then they get mad. Okay. Why are you getting mad? Did I treat you any differently? I don't treat you differently. Like I hate having, so I know most of y'all are not in Atlanta. Each business I've ever had in Atlanta, I always get a freaking phone call from some organization that says, you know, are gay people allowed to come into your establishment? One, I feel like it's a setup. Like they're trying to set you up. But two, it's a stupid fucking question. And I always tell them every time they call, I don't give a fuck if you gay. The only thing I care about is you come in here respectfully and you pay. No matter what business I had, when I was a personal trainer, when I owned a gym, when I had my sunglass shop, when I have a popcorn shop, the cigar lounge, I don't care. Now I can tell you this, if a gay person came in here and they were flamboyant, it's not going to go well for them in here. They're not going to feel comfortable. A cigar lounge is very traditional gender bias. I can tell you that. Men are men, women are women. Now we've had gay people come in here. But if a gay dude came in here and he was that flamboyant, acting more like a woman than a woman acts, and all that stuff, speaking with that, like they got this S that comes out in every goddamn word, nobody's going to talk to that person. Nobody's talking to them. Everybody's going to ignore them because they're going to be like, it's irritating. All right. Now, when the girl who's, I forgot, what do you call it? What do they call them now when the stud? When we've had studs come in here with their mates, nobody treats them differently. Nobody treats anybody differently. It's just there's certain behaviors that don't work well in certain places. Just like when I was in the Marine Corps and I went to certain events, certain balls and events with ambassadors and all that, you couldn't come in there acting like fucking NWA. You had to be posh. And we had to learn, and we all had to learn how to do the waltz. And you couldn't come in there doing brass monkey. Brass monkey, that funky monkey. Couldn't go in there doing that. You had to do the waltz. Or depending upon what country, you had certain dances that you had to do. Same thing here. Just like you can't bring your ass in here and start twerking. You start twerking, I'm gonna throw you out. Hey, them little youngins, that's why we don't do hookahs. Because I don't want that crowd in here. Plus, hookah and cigar smoke don't work well together. But no, you gotta get out. There ain't no twerking in here. I was actually at a cigar lounge, and this young girl started twerking, and this older woman came up to her and said, baby, that ain't what we do here. Get your ass off the chair. What's up, Doc? Really cool. It's more estrogen and soy being placed in foods in some areas. Yes, they are. Look, they trying to fuck up your body with the food. All that estrogen and soy. I had this, like, what was it, Impossible Burger? I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah. Then I found I had soy in. I was like, hell no, I had to let that go. But yeah, they're trying to manipulate how much estrogen and is in your body because they want to make women. They want to make everybody more docile. I was gonna say men and women more docile, but just everybody. And they want to split up the family too. All done by design. Yeah, family, friends, foes, all. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's a spiritual issue as well as they embrace the feminine energy? Do you think there's a spiritual aspect of it as well? The lounge is for couples. I mean, no, lounge is for couples, singles. I don't give a shit. The lounge is for anybody who loves smoking cigars and having great conversation and just chilling. That's what the lounge is for. A spiritual issue as far as them? No. I don't think they're more attracted to the feminine energy as far as like the feminine universal energy, but just the feminine energy of man. Of man. That something either attracts them to it or has pushed them to it. You know. And then some of it is just choice. Because you got I trained a dude for 6 months and I had no idea that joker was gay. I was so pissed off when I found out he was gay. And I wasn't pissed off because he was gay. I was pissed off because because I trained him at a LA Fitness and we going into the locker room, you know, standing there. And understand, it's one thing when you're standing there butt naked in front of other dudes and you don't know if there's anybody gay and you think everybody's straight. You don't really care too much. You know, it's a quick little, throw it on, boom. You get used to that playing sports as a kid. But when it's like, even if he had told me he was gay, I would have still went in the locker room, but it would just been, at least I know, you know. And then when he was inviting me to come to the club that he owned, I'm like, dude, you would have had me set up. I'd have walked in there, I would have saw that, and I'd have kicked your ass. Not because you're gay, but because you should have told me. You should have told me. So, but I didn't know because we would see a woman walk by, he'd be like, damn, she got a nice ass. I'm like, damn, she sure do got a nice ass. Damn, she fine. Hey, I was like, dude. So you got some dudes who are they might be attracted to men, but they are still masculine. So I can't say it's a spiritual energy thing. What are your thoughts on animals that are homosexual and if it relates to humans? I don't think it relates to humans at all. Animals are more instinctive creatures. Humans have the ability of reasoning. Wow, we start talking about homosexuality and fucking TikTok. Somebody said that I was doing hate speech. And they talking about tobacco. This is some bullshit. I see other people talking about this stuff and they have no problems. TikTok is so much censorship on TikTok. I've been censored. I can't come back on live on TikTok till July 31st. TikTok is such a bullshit ass. Yeah. Somebody said, what do I think about trans women participating in sports? I think that's some bullshit. I think it's some utter. Yeah, somebody reported me. That's some bullshit. Oh man. Look, some animals have displayed some homosexual behavior, but I don't think that ain't got shit to do with humans. We have the ability to reason. We're higher conscious beings. You know, we have instincts, true, but I think we develop our preferences. But as far as them being able to participate, being able to participate in like a trans male participating in women's sports, I think that's utter bullshit. I think women should be at the spearhead of saying hell no, because you're destroying everything women have done in order to validate their sport. And let's be real, in a sport, we're talking about sports here. Now, we're not talking about chess. So we're talking about chess, men, women, equal. But when it comes to sport, you can't name a sport where men and women are equal in that sport. There is not one. We sat in here for a good 2 hours trying to figure out a sport where men and women are equal, because we've had this conversation in the lounge. This shit is unfair. The best woman in basketball will not ever make an NBA team if it was truly based on talent. She ain't making it, because once she get on that floor, she gonna get her ass handed to her. It's not fair. So when you got these dudes who I'm a woman, and you go into MMA and you beating the shit out of these women, you breaking all the swimming records, that's bullshit. That's because you a pav, and you couldn't compete with the men because you're a straight pav. Punk ass is what a pav. You straight up. You can't. That's why you're doing it. I don't think any of them are doing it because they feel connected as a woman. And everybody will be put. Now, let somebody like LeBron James say, I now identify as a woman. And he go play in the WNBA. He be all world. All world. Well, nobody be able to stop him. Let's talk about the bill that was passed to make it right for businesses not to serve the alphabet community. Am I the only one who sees the bigger issue? So at what point will they allow businesses to not serve Black people? Nah, I think that's bullshit. There's a bill. I didn't know there was one. A bill that allows you not to have to serve LGBT community. I did not even. Who passed that bill? Is that a state bill, or it got to be a state bill? Where did that get passed? I missed some of the stuff on Facebook because I was pontificating. Well, I mean, you can live your life, scales of Mayat. Depends on what deity you believe in. Yeah, LeBron would be like Wilt Chamberlain in the WNBA. I mean, it's but we went through all the sports that we thought about it. I mean, and now there are a few sports where a man wouldn't be able to compete with women. Synchronized swimming. There's a reason why men don't do, for the most part, synchronized swimming. A woman's center of balance is in her hips. A man's center of balance in his chest. It's harder, that upside down part with the legs up. It is much more difficult for a man to do that than it is for a woman to do that. That's one reason why women are better at that. We even looked at diving, because diving is really a skill. But that ability to get the higher elevation whether you're on a platform or you are especially on a springboard, the man is going to be able to get that higher elevation. So he's going to be able to do the more difficult dives. Ping pong, it didn't matter. Like, that strength level thing always come into play, that when you look at the top male, not the top female versus the lowest dude, the top versus the top, the men are generally going to dominate. Yeah, diving. If we did the math on it, men are going to be able to get that higher elevation. So men do more difficult dives, have done more difficult dives than women do. There are some dives that, are just not going to look as good with a woman doing it, which looks perception is one of the major components when it comes to diving. Oh, that's a Supreme Court rule. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that. I'll look up that link. Yeah, we went deep into we tried a whole bunch of sports to try to figure out. Even, you ever notice there are that most of the jockeys and almost every jockey who wins is a goddamn dude? Because there's a certain amount of stamina and strength that is required with the jockey and racing and the horse race. It's not just all the strategy of when to, rank the horse run faster, slower, inside lane, outside lane, trailing, all those sorts of things. It comes down. Even NASCAR. There's a reason why Danica never was the top. She was never in the top points leader. None of that stuff. Come on, I would love for you to have a possibility, because I will bring that shit up today so we can all discuss it when these jokers get here. Yeah, you would think the size of a woman would be better, but when you look at same size man, same size woman, the same size dude is still usually going to be stronger and have more upper body strength endurance. Because if you think about it, those jockeys really don't sit on the horse too much. They're raised up, holding themselves up, and there's a lot of upper body strength that's going on with the jockeys, and then controlling the horse as to at that speed, which direction to go, path to take, all those sorts of things. And oftentimes you got that one hand and you got that other hand whipping them back. There's a reason why you don't see it's not many women. You would think women would be perfect for it. Nah, but somebody said, who said they got one for me? I want to know. You may have one possibility. Come on with it, Wade. What's the possibility? I would love to find them. Cause we were struggling. We struggled to find. I mean, synchronized swimming, dude. That was the only one that we said that's considered a sport that women would dominate dudes. So when a dude goes, when these trans women should just have trans women sports. They should not be able to participate in biological women's sports. Yep, bowling is a sport, and nope. Can a woman roll the 300s? Yes, but there's a reason why they separate men and women even in that competition, because women are not that speed, the power behind it. Because to get a strike is about hitting is about precision, but it's also about the speed of the ball going down there in order to knock them pins all around the place. It's close. It's closer. You're getting closer with bowling, but you still need to have that power behind it. And of course, the size of the ball matters. The larger the ball you can put that speed behind, the better. And men can be more accurate with a larger ball than women can be more accurate with a larger ball. So we talked about bowling. Bowling was one of the ones that was kind of close, but at the end of the day, still didn't quite get there. We still have the advantage when it comes to bowling, even though I got my ass whooped by one of my clients in bowling. But she didn't tell me that her ex-husband was a professional bowler before we went and bowled. So that was some bullshit. And Gene, if you ever watch this video, I'm still mad about that. I went out there and bowled a 220 and she bowled a 280 on my Still mad about that. That was about 15 years ago. Yeah, she hustled me. But we had a 5. Here's the thing. Because her and I had this similar type conversation about men and women, we oh really, Doc? That's what we said? Dude, I bowled a 220. I was bowling 220s on a consistency back then. I could throw that ball back then. I can't throw it now. My back and my knees. I went bowling with my son when he graduated boot camp. Damn knee was hurt for a month. But we had this same conversation way back then. I was her personal trainer, and Jean was my friend. And we picked, it was 5 events. It was 5. Best 2 out of 3. It was bowling, darts, pool, ping pong, and it was something else. I can't remember. The only thing she beat me in was bowling. She came close with pool, but see, even with pool, there were certain things where power came into play, like like when I make that ball spin around that other ball and then go in, she couldn't generate enough power to. Now some women can. So pool is a close one. Pool is real close. Might be possible. Archery, you know what? Archery. I wonder. The only way that archery would be slightly different is if you increase the distance. You understand what I'm saying? The farther away the target, the more advantage a male has. They both can develop the same accuracy, but the farther away the target, because then that comes to being able to pull back on stronger tensile strength. So it is a good mental exercise because you have to think through some of these sports and what they require. Because the further you got to pull that bow back, and the stronger the tensile strength is, that is where the difference will start to come in. But if the targets are like 50 feet away or 50 yards away, fine. But if the target is 100 yards away, I think we're going to start seeing some differences. Right around 100 yards, 200 yards. Maybe shooting. Shooting might be. Dealing with the recoil, though, but shooting might be one. But farther away to get, the more bigger the gun you got to use, and generally the more recoil you have. But shooting is a skill. It's not a sport. Even though I know they do it as a skill. No, it's for men and women, but it's for everybody, as long as you're over 21. No, it's not members only. It's not members only. How many sports outside of tennis that can be traditionally co-ed? There's not a lot. There's not a lot. We even tried curling, which oddly enough is weird that everybody, I don't know what happened that curling became something that people started watching. But the ability to, that damn broom. But even in co-ed tennis, there's still a disadvantage. You can play it and like this stupid ass, and I'm gonna call it stupid, this stupid ass pickleball they've been playing, the males still have an advantage over the female. There's still an advantage of the male over the female. If I'm playing, anytime I played co-ed tennis, if I know I got me a good spike going, getting ready to come, or a hard return, I generally target the woman. I would try to target the woman because she has less likely of an ability than the dude. Especially if I know if I'm going to hit it with all the power I got, I'm hitting it towards the woman. Hey, all's fair. All's fair. In racquetball, hell no. The speed and strength in racquetball, no. Some of my, when I was in Germany, is when I started playing racquetball. Some of the women in my unit and some of the women on the base, they try to jump in there, get their ass handed to them. If you are a winner, that's where you're going. Simple logic. It's just simple logic. So I think they shouldn't be allowed to participate in women's sports. Right. Female gait is different. Swivel side, marching in the army. They said 1 step for a man is 1.2. Yeah, it is. A military unit looks better when we're marching and it's all men than when you have a mixed unit. When the unit is mixed, it don't look as good, right? And generally, you try to put everybody same height. You try to have the same heights on each row. Is the best way if you're doing like presentation marching. You want everybody in the same row. It's just we have differences. And then from behind, it don't look right. When you're marching, some women can't help but for their hips to move in ways that men hips don't move. And you're looking at them from behind and you see this little swerve going on, within your ranks. And don't look good. Now, you got a whole platoon full of women. Everybody kind of swerving the same way. It kind of looks the same. I gotta take this phone call. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Renz, what's going on, man?
Not much, man.
Hey, I was hitting you up. I had a couple questions for you about this popcorn thing. Are you tied up at the moment?
Yeah, can I call you back in a few?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, man.
Later.
The business got to handle them. But so back to the main part of the thought process, because I know Wade is still trying to figure this out. And you ain't gonna figure it out, man. Is very, you're gonna try to figure out a sport, but no, trans women should not be able to participate in women's sports at all. Period. They should have their own sport. And I think there are some organizations where they have their own sports. And because I saw there in Atlanta, they had a trans women's bodybuilding competition. Nope, diving doesn't work, man. Men can spring higher off the platform and or the springboard, which gives them the ability to perform the more difficult dives. So they shouldn't be able to. They should have your own. Like that trans women bodybuilding competition they had, it was sad as fuck. There was one woman, she was muscled out. She was on steroids. One trans woman, she was steroided up. You mean like diving down in the water? Hell, the only sport that's diving down in the water is oh shit, because I was gonna learn how to do it until the guy who was teaching me, he went to Hawaii and he did it and he died, and I was like, oh nope, I'm not doing that one. Free diving. Even in free diving, the woman's record is nowhere near the man's record. Yeah, the woman's record is nowhere near the man's record. You think about the strength of diving, of swimming down. It's not like you're just freely floating down, you know. And then, thank you. Women not only would be more buoyant because of their breasts, but women have and this is one of the things I always had to explain to my clients. Women have an extra layer of fat that men don't have, and that extra layer of fat is for childbirth, is for survival of childbirth. So that's going to make them more buoyant as well. Go away. But no, look up the world record for men and women's free diving, and you will see the difference. And there's a reason why there's a difference. Plus, generally, men have larger lung capacity than women, you know, which is another reason. That's another reason why, like marathon running, there's a prize for the male, there's a prize for the woman, and the males generally they whoop the woman's ass. Right. So you heard about yesterday on YouTube channel, did a live stream the other day about it. Oh, okay. Psychologically, no, because men and women are very much different. And then, you know, the psychological part of it as well. That's a whole nother aspect that we didn't even discuss. In general, men, that testosterone and adrenaline hit is more than for a woman. So that creates another internal unfair bias. I was totally disgusted when I saw that dude go out there and break all these women's swimming records. Completely disgusted when that dude went to MMA and was beating the shit out of them women. Like, no. Even though I'm not a fan of DeSantos, that is one thing I do like that he did. He made it so that trans women cannot participate in women's and girls sports at the high school levels, because it's not fair. How many high school girls would lose out on scholarships, lose out on that type of growth if a 16, 17-year-old trans boy decide that he's a girl, and then he goes and plays basketball at the high school level, and he's just showing out on these girls. Now a girl that would have gotten a scholarship is not getting one. Yeah. Now DeSantos has done a bunch of other fucked up stuff. He's screwing up y'all economy in Florida by saying that undocumented workers can't work. And that's why y'all are suffering and can't sell your fruit, because ain't nobody out there picking. Not that that's the only job that they're doing, but it also increasing your construction costs. It's increasing y'all economy across the board, which is going to make Florida unaffordable. And maybe that's his plan. He only wants the wealthiest people in Florida. Yeah, some of these parents are going to try to cash in on it. Yep, the endurance level is very different. So now they're and see, that's the only thing about that community that pisses me off is they should have the mentality that Black people should have as well. Create our own shit. Create our own stuff. Be self-sufficient. Don't try to attach yourself to everybody else's stuff. Yeah. I guess it's after 12. It's 1 o'clock. We can be in any subject matter now. But yeah, don't attach to other people's stuff. Do your own thing. Stop trying to be a part of everybody else's stuff. Do your own thing. Yeah, don't get the notoriety, but hell, there was a time frame when the NBA didn't get any notoriety. When them dudes who were playing in the NBA also had jobs. The NFL guys also had jobs. Every sport starts out small, and it takes time to build it up for there to be enough of an audience that is supportive of a person playing that sport. So go start your own shit. And we need to stop joining their fight. Unless you black and gay, you should not be fighting their fight. We got enough of our own fight to fight. We need to be in our own communities, fighting for our communities, building our communities, supporting the businesses, supporting we need to get better banks in our community. The black banks are failing us left and right. But we need to be supporting our own communities, our own schools, becoming the principals and superintendents and teachers of our own schools, running our stuff, not concerned about whether or not some transgender dude should be able to play women's sports. Some gay dude can be served at some restaurant that's not even in our community. Who gives a shit? Let them fight that. We should not be fighting that. We need to stay in our own lane. And it shouldn't be wrong to acknowledge it. You should be able to acknowledge it and keep it moving. You shouldn't be counseling people like TikTok did. This is the second time. I just realized, man, see, think about that. TikTok has canceled me twice on 2 different channels. We was in here, and this discussion that we're having now, I was having it with some of my guys, and because we was talking about it, the TikTok version got canceled. They canceled the live and put me on probation, shut me down for like a week. Do you feel like some of these childless black men should be fostering, mentoring more of the youth? I think all black men should be counseling and mentoring more of the youth. I know if you got your own kids, it's enough to do them, but you should also involve yourself with the single mother who lives down the street or in your neighborhood, the kids at the rec center, in some form or fashion, whether it's 1 kid or 30 kids. How old is? In most cases, to join the Masons is 21 years old. There are some that will allow you at 18, very few, but most cases is 21. Plus, if you want to expose something, expose the people who want to detransition and the stories they have about destroying their rectum, and their intestines, and their spines, and have osteoporosis and not dealt with. That are not dealt with. Yeah, a lot of these people. I've seen some videos where people were, after they made that decision, after they had those surgeries, they regretted them. And maybe just I can't say I can be in the mind of a person, but I'm not taking, even if I felt that way, I'm not changing. I'm not going through all that surgery. No. I'm not going through all that. I was about to say, and most of them look horrible, but some can trick you. They can trick you. I had this dude come into the popcorn shop, and I had no idea until that joker told me. None whatsoever until that joker told me. I thought it was a straight up woman. I thought it was a woman. I think I told y'all about that. Because then they was asking me about coming into the lounge, and I was like, look, you don't have to go in the lounge and be announcing that you are a trans man, trans woman, whatever. But if somebody trying to hit on you, somebody trying to get with you, you need to let them know. You don't need to wait till this ain't the crying game where you wait till y'all in an intimate situation and you let them know. You're putting yourself in danger at that point. So that's not when you let them know. You know, you let them know early on in a public space, not that all the public got to hear it, but in a public space. And that was not only for the dude's sake, but it was also for the trans sake. Like, hey man, don't put, because some dudes are not going to be able to handle it if they've been all smoozing up to you, giving you their best line, done bought you a cigar too, you know, shared a drink with you, done touched on you, you know, whether it's your shoulder or your arms or your back or whatever, and then you get to the crying game moment. I don't know if y'all seen the movie Crying Game, so y'all should have. But you get to the crying game moment, and all of a sudden it's like bam, because he ain't cut off the penis yet. Like what? Because some dudes will lose their shit right then, and then you might die or get severely beaten. Oh, that Bruce Jenner thing was. Oh, how do you make this motherfucker Woman of the Year? I can't believe women stood for that bullshit. They should have been protesting that left and right. Let's say, what's the basketball girl who was in Russia? Let's say she did the male thing, transformed to a male, and then they made her man. Like, men wouldn't stand for them making her Man of the Year. Whatever magazine or publication puts out that she would be Man of the Year, we would be like, hell no. Oh, that happened to your son? Found out he was a she and he quit talking to it? Yeah. I don't. Look, I was duped. Saw what I thought was a young lady. Hey, how you doing? Start having a conversation. Then some started like not sitting right. And then thankfully that joker told me, it's like, do you like trans men? Trans women? What okay, so if it's a man gonna turn to a woman, is that called a trans man? That's a trans man, right? Not a trans woman. Or is that's a trans woman, right? Yes, a trans woman. But he told me that they were trans, and I was like, oh, no. I don't play on that team. But I thought it was a girl. That's another. Oh, that's a mosquito in here. Oh, he got to die. We cannot have the mosquito bites. Nah, you can't have that. And them surgeries done got good. Them surgeries done got good. Right. Debbie loves being a woman. I love being a man, except for the sexual part. Y'all got an advantage. That ain't fair. But we need to be able to get it the same way y'all get it. Same long lasting and multiple, not just multiple. Then it's like you go down to about 80%, and then you can only get up to about 95%, 95%. Now we need to be able to get right back to 100. Keep going. So that shit is not fair. Yep, they call people trans, but they still got the parts. Yeah, you're not trans. If you still got the parts, you're not trans. Like I one of my best customers when I had the popcorn shop open, which is weird to me sometimes. She was trans. Like one of them got the whole operation, and then his wife is still all female. And I was just like, you're a gay woman, why do you want a gay woman to then get transformed to a dude? Why don't you just go get you a dude? I never understood that. Maybe I just can't understand it, but that don't make sense to me. So it is transform, okay. It don't make sense to me. Just as a guy, I don't want a trans woman. Give me a woman. If I like women, give me a woman, not a trans woman. Mm-mm. Oh my God. I don't stop ringing. Yeah, but that just don't. It bewilders the mind because I don't get it. I don't see it. I can't rationalize it in my brain. That's why you don't have one. They think the same. That's why they together, like folks with bad credit. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Think they're the same, but they're not the same. It is not the same at all. Now, I am curious if a trans man has orgasms like a woman would have orgasms, where the multiples and continuous, and then the blood flow stays there. I am curious of that because then that would maybe that's why they did it. They had the best of both worlds. I don't know. But he never will be, exactly. He never will be a man. No matter how many operations you have, you got ovaries. You was born with a uterus. You only have that much testosterone in your system because you're taking injections. Did y'all ever watch the series called Why? The Last Man? I watched it for a while, but then it started getting stupid. But it was funny. All males of every animal disappeared. They all died. They didn't disappear. They all died, except for one dude and his monkey. They were the only males that was on the planet. But since it was all women, and you know how women are some of the biggest supporters of the trans community, right? Oh my damn, did they turn on their ass when there were no males? They turned on their ass, and they turned on them trans men in a heartbeat. They were so pissed off. Now, the show didn't say it, but they never showed any trans women on that show. I just realized that. They neglected to say what happened to the trans women on that show. But you can surmise that since the trans men were still alive, then whatever caused all males to die, recognize that these were still women. Oh, they don't have orgasms like that? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Some of these trans women, they'll fool you. They look good. They look good to their eye. But yeah, I never thought that show actually demonstrated and showed that trans women did not survive, but trans men did, indicating that whatever this natural thing, I don't know if it was a natural thing because they never just, whatever figured out, whatever they killed all the males, did not kill trans women. I did not realize that was a subtext in that show. Have painful sex, odor, and all kinds of problems. That's a huge letdown. Oh my gosh. You go through all that process and you can't even have good sex? Oh. Hell no. Look, I told Angelina and my kid, I get to a point where I can't have good sex no more. Just leave me at the edge of a cliff. Then go back to the car because you forgot something. I'll be gone when you get back. I'll be gone. If I can't have good sex and I can't run a business, even at the most minor level, what the hell am I here for? Just being an old dude who just sits around and spouts out wisdom. Fuck that. That's not enough of a life for me. I still need to be able to get it in and create some method of transactions. I love transactions. I know I was talking to Angeline about passion. We were talking about, what you're passionate about. The closest thing I'm passionate about is studying and teaching and creating transactions. I love creating transactions. I don't even care what it is. It's something about creating a transaction that just, who will produce sperm and orgasm if the nerve is destroyed? You have seen how they pull it all apart. Oh, no, I've not. I cannot watch surgeries. I can watch you get shot and blown up, but I cannot watch surgeries. Like skinning a chicken. Ooh. Nope. Ooh. Yes, I'll agree. I'm a conduit. But, surgeries, I can't watch surgeries. The show is called Y, The Last Man. It's the letter Y. For XY chromosome. The Last Man. It starts out as great. It's probably, for me, it was good 7, 8, 9 episodes. Now the last male that's there, he's stupid as fuck. He a dumbass. And he gets on my nerves most of the time. But the show is good. And for every time how women, like, if all the men were gone, women would run the world and the world would be so peaceful. No, the world was chaotic as hell. And just as cutthroat as any other type situation. If all the women died and we were just a bunch of dudes, we'd be cutthroat and ruthless, and the women were cutthroat and ruthless in the same. And everybody wanted survival. And some women were in relationship with trans men because they wanted to have a man. Where they minorly showed that. But I couldn't do it. But it's called Y, The Last Man, something like that. I don't remember if it's one of them streaming services, like it's either Netflix, Hulu, or I might see where I left off and watch some of that. See, I do want to know how it ends. But it was a good show. Yeah, it started out as a good show. It's a great concept. The male actor that they pulled, they could have done better casting with him. He sucked. Well, the writing of his, he didn't suck as an actor. The writing for him began to suck because he was still in love with some woman, and he did dumb shit, endanger himself trying to, because I thought I saw her, and then he just completely endangered the hell out of himself and everybody who was with him and trying to help him, because really, even knowing that they wanted to get him to California so they can figure out why he survived and maybe help bring men back. And even in the womb, if you had a male baby in the womb, the male babies all died. So there was a bunch of miscarriages and all that kind of stuff. So that show underlining did say that genetically you are male or female, that there is no genetic material that separates you. Also watch The Female Brain. Great explanation on how and why we respond the way we do. Oh shit, I need to watch that one. Every man should be studying women and every woman should be studying men. To go back to the original conversation, the more we can understand each other, the better relationships we can have. You understand some of those things. And this is also why your past, explaining your past to your mates matter, because it helps you to understand the person better if you can come into that mindset. Some dudes don't like to hear about a woman's past because you don't want to hear about her and her being with other men. There is a point where you gotta stop talking about that shit. Yeah, you don't want to keep hearing about, you know, what y'all did and where y'all went and all that kind of stuff. You just need to understand, you know, the basis of the relationship, the progression of the relationship, and the demise of the relationship. That's it. I don't need to hear all your other stuff. We don't need to be constantly reminded of previous relationships, you know, because if you talk about it too much, then it becomes, well, did you miss the motherfucker? Same thing for dudes. You don't need to be constantly talking about your exes. Did you take your ass back? You must miss them a lot. But we should be studying each other. And if you're in a polygamous relationship, polyamorous relationship, you even more study. You got to study all of them. Yeah, Why the Last Man Show. Heard of that show, but never got a chance to see it. I think it only aired for one season. Probably did. Probably just one season because the writing started the latter episodes. The writing for the guy became stupid. They just made him dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber, doing just dumb shit left and right. He was the main one that kept endangering them. And I understand that they got to create drama in a show to keep you interested. But, and yeah, if he wasn't acting so dumb, they could have probably, as I like to say about movies, when I see dumb shit that don't make sense, that you know in reality wouldn't happen, it's so the movie can happen. And in this case, so the show can happen. Right, all eggs are female until a certain point. Yeah, to a certain point, to the genetic material of the semen distinguishes whether or not it's going to be a male or female. But as soon as but here's the thing about that: as soon as the egg is female, because the semen is going to be XX or XY. But as soon as that one sperm gets in that and it's an XY, if it's an XY, then that is a male. It will only be a male. It will never be a female. So if an XY sperm get in there, it's going to be a male, no matter whenever the point happens that the sex change is, and it's not a change of the sex, and no matter at what point the gender starts to reveal itself, it was always going to be a male, or it was always going to be a female. At the moment of inception, it has been determined what it's going to be, male or female. So even though there's a time frame that it kicks in, the moment my dad's sperm got into my mom's egg, it was going to be me, period. Wasn't going to be anything else. Wasn't going to be anything else. So at that point, to me, there's no other point a person can make that would validate that, you know, you're born this way or that way. Nah, motherfucker. If an XY sperm is the first one in the egg, you're gonna be a boy. You're gonna be a male. It's ox and razor. It's the simplest answer, and usually the simpler answer is the right answer. That's it. That's it. But it is way past 1 o'clock. It's 1:30. And y'all know I got other things to do. I gotta make a cigar video. Because I got some my long time cigars I haven't had for a while have come in. I gotta talk about them to the people, get their happy asses in here. Oh, I have traffic court tomorrow. It's at 1 o'clock. So I'm still gonna be here tomorrow for our continuation of reading. What are we in? Leviticus. But definitely hard stopping at probably 12. That'll give me enough time to get up there, be one of the first names to sign in, and so that I can get the hell out of there. Definitely a hard stop at 12. And then Wednesday, generic conversation. Thursday, we'll start a new book, and Friday, generic conversation. So, well, it'll have a subject matter. We just don't know what it's going to be. Oh, they have surgery to remove a blocked penis after circumcision, and it does not work when you make them a female. Yep, they have. Yep. Mm-mm. I actually saw this dude with two penises. Saw this video. It was a porn video. This dude had two penises because we were asking the question if there's ever a male with two penises, and of course it came up on a porn site that a dude had two penises, and like I looked at it, and it wasn't like movie magic. That motherfucker had two penises, and both of them got hard, and it was weird as shit. And the lady, when she first looked at it, it was like it was almost her expression was almost like they didn't tell her what she was about to do. Oh, you seen that in real life? Oh my gosh. I ain't one for looking at a bunch of penises, but if I saw a dude with two penises, I was like, God damn. I'd be really? Does it work? The curiosity part of me would be like, because that would be like, wow, that's interesting. Of course, my demented ass be like, And I'm trying to think, yeah, and it was a porn thing, and he he was double penetrating all by himself. You were teenagers. Well, we was having a conversation about this, and we said like, has a because you know you got the hermaphrodites where the person is born with both male and female, but we was like, I wonder if anybody's ever been born with two penises. So I googled it, and it came up on a porn site, two penises, and I was like, shit. Uh, so hell yeah, I'm gonna go see it. Oh, I'm gonna watch that. Like what the hell? Look at this shit. Interesting. Uh, it's not like I'm going back to it. Yeah, this I wouldn't want that. Hell no, I wouldn't want that at all. Nope, I'm good. There are certain things as far as anatomically I would not want. I would not want to have two penises. Um, what was it? These dudes with these 15-inch penises. Hell no, I wouldn't want some big ass monstrosity like that. I think you're gonna have more women that's like no. And then, and yes, there was a time frame where I watched a lot of porn, and one thing I noticed them do with them big 12, 15-inch things, they can never get all of it in there. And no, there's something special about being all in. Something special about being all in. I know. Oh, Coach Renz, I thought you were above those sorts of things. Shit. That's where you're supposed to be. But nah, there's like certain things um, it would be a lesson you have to learn. I do know a kid. He was one of my friends back in the day, little brother. He was born without that little thing under your tongue that keeps your tongue from falling down your throat. So of course, he had from the time frame he was a baby, he had to learn how to sleep a certain way. That joker had that long ass tongue. He could take a jelly jar and just rim the shit out that. And he was like, how old was he the first time I saw him? When I saw him, realized that about, I think he was about 13, 14 years old. I said, boy, I remember telling him, boy, when you get older, that thing right there, I said, look, don't get caught up. Still, you're going to have plenty of women. Don't worry about women, because he was like 12, 13, 14 years old. I was like, don't worry about women. You're going to be good to go. They going to love you. All right. And then I didn't see him for, how long did I think I went my whole Marine Corps career without seeing him. So I didn't see him until the 2000s. Actually, I know when I saw him. I saw him in 2006. Because I saw him after I opened my gym. Thank you for telling me the sound went off. But yeah, I didn't see that joke until about 2006, 2007. No, actually, I didn't see him until 2008. I saw him in 2008, or somewhere around in there. Yep, my prediction was true. Women were loving that Joker. He didn't have that little thing that under your tongue that keeps your tongue from falling down your throat. So his tongue came out like the dude in in the Kiss, what's the rock band Kiss? Yeah, one of them kind of tongues. And when I saw him, he was like, when you told me, and he remembered, he said, when you told me back then that women were gonna love me, I ain't know what you was talking about. He said, but I know what you're talking about now. So yeah. But we're gonna close out on that note. We're gonna close out. Yeah, but it was a great discussion. I enjoyed it, breaking down the different types of relationships. I think that the Black community would be better served with more polygamous relationships than the monogamous relationships. I think we would have more kids growing up in the house with both genders, the male and female. More solid communities. We would do better financially, and we do better financially. We do better economically. We do better socially, and we do better politically with higher finances than without them. And I think family structures would be better if that became the more common thing. So I am an advocate for polygamy. Polyamory has its benefits, but financially it's not. Doesn't benefit you financially. Swinging, sexual, just sexual benefits. Open, other than sex, a little bit of emotional support. Monogamy can achieve those same things, so that is better. That is possible. It's just that we're not achieving it. So if you missed all of that, the breakdowns of all of that, you have to go back to the beginning of these videos. The best place to go to the beginning of these videos if it's Facebook and YouTube. Of course, YouTube is easier to find older videos, but if you're seeing this today, then Facebook will be pretty easy to find this video. So y'all have a great day. And we're going to end with that one. So y'all have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I definitely will have to be on time because I got a hard stop at 12. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great day. Remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. But do Angelina agree with it? Certain levels, otherwise she wouldn't be my girl. She wouldn't be my lady. She knew that. She knew that from the very beginning. That at minimum there are minimums and there are maximums. So she wouldn't be there. So y'all have a great day. She just pulled up, screeching her tires. Y'all have a great day. Remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations, and I will see you guys tomorrow.